Hey, well, most New England towns have some sort of local historical society. Now, these are amazing organizations that curate and preserve the history and artifacts of a given community. The town of Warner in New Hampshire has a very active and involved group that has taken this vocation upon themselves. Let's hear more from the executive director on the history and mission of the Warner Historical Society.
There was an attempt to start the Warner Historical Society in the 1930s. We have records of meetings that were held at that time, and they had objects that they collected and saved at the Pillsbury Free Library. But with the advent of World War II, the organization sort of dissolved and fell apart and did not really reorganize again until about 1969, when they knew they had to get ready for Warner's bicentennial in 1974. And then it would be in the 1990s when we acquired this building from the John Chandler family. This allowed us to have just museum space and archival storage. After acquiring the building, we took about 3 or 4 years to renovate and rehabilitate the building both inside and out. What we collect is articles, paper, objects that were used here or made here in Warner. We try very hard to be a resource for Warner history. Through our programming, our writing, we now have a publishing fund where we publish books relating to Warner history. So we have school desks, we have a lot of china, baskets, things that were made in Warner at the various mills. We have tools. One thing that I am a firm believer of is changing exhibits every year. I do not want the museum to be just a static house museum that does not change over time. Our first exhibit in this house was this old house. We wanted to tell the story of this house that we had received from the Chandler family. We have had exhibits on Warner in the wake of the Civil War. We've had a Civil War exhibit. We've had some exhibits that we've done in collaboration with other historical societies and museums. The first one was called Along the Basket Trail, examining Native American and African American baskets. Last year we did Mount Kearsarge, which led to the publication of Mount Kearsarge, History, Stories, Legends, and Folktales by Larry Sullivan and artwork by Mimi Wiggin, and that was a very popular exhibit. Currently we are celebrating Warner's agricultural history, 1760 to 2016, starting with the Native Americans who were the first gardeners, obviously on the soil here in Warner, and going through settlement and then into dairy farms and the sheep craze. And we now have changing exhibits every year at the museum. The museum itself is open May through October, on Tuesdays from 1 to 4 and Saturdays from 10 to 1. Admission is free. And for those of you who are visiting during the summer on a hot day, we are air conditioned.
Now, just like history, which is being created every day, it sounds like the Warner Historical Society is ever expanding and changing with new exhibits every year. Whether you're studying genealogy or just interested in what made a community tick, try to visit to one of our wonderful local historical societies.